The political rhetoric in this country leaves democracy wanting. It is no wonder we can't really get anything done in this our country, because even the manner in which politicians speak to each other is just shocking. Bernardo SWAPO's recent press conference, where he outlined the plans for his new political party, the Landless People's Movement, revealed that there is a big rift amongst our politicians. Check this out.
How many people can today, for instance, dispute that this country is actually ruled by Monica Kalondo, and that the president is perhaps the advisor of Monica? You know? How many people? I mean, you can see.
He went on to say that Lands Minister Utoni Nyoma's statement on a South African news channel last week was very accurate.
As freedom fighters, we were also tired of staying in the bush.
SWAPO expounded on just how he thinks SWAPO sold us out.
It was never a revolutionary process, that SWAPO was exhausted, that they could no longer continue to mount any material force against apartheid South Africa, that the independence that we have obtained as a result of the fatigue of SWAPO, and clearly as a result of the overwhelming strength of South Africa, is the result of the Western Contact Group's efforts. In essence, one can say that SWAPO was summoned to the table, instructed to accept the 1982 principles, and they have been the boys and girls of the Western Contact Group as part of a neoliberal project in the Republic of Namibia. For the reason that the 1982 principles entrenched the property clauses, the apartheid regime could no longer say no to a good deal. And SWAPO indeed made a great deal for the white people who have had now, for the past 28 years, both in South Africa and Namibia, no privileges of them undermined, no livelihood of theirs changed for the worse, except the black majority, who continue to linger in poverty, homelessness, and landlessness, and young people who, while qualified, face the future of joblessness. Quite clearly, it is the Cubans that fought decisively for our war, because the tired SWAPO colleagues could not fight anymore. It was the Cubans at Cuito Carnaval that offered for the first time a formidable force that could contest quite successfully the powerful apartheid illegal regime, because SWAPO was incapable and tired. We, of course, in saying so, do not undermine the efforts that were made by the planned combatants in their own individual capacity, because they genuinely sacrificed their lives for the cause of this country.
SWAPO didn't stop there. He went on to criticize the role that the politicians played in the struggle.
When they therefore give each other the accolades of leader of the Namibian revolution, when they therefore call themselves revolutionaries, they have been lying all along, as per Utoni Nyoma. Revolutionaries never get tired. Girls and boys can get tired, but revolutionaries never. Therefore, quite clearly, when SWAPO took over government, it was a tired, semi-literate institution that was never ready to govern this country. They were exhausted. They couldn't do anything anymore. They couldn't think. They couldn't act. And all that they secured for themselves were government jobs. Once the white apartheid regime gave them the government jobs, which they now have, it was all over. They sold out, and they continue to be the gatekeepers of what they settled for. They can no longer be trusted to lead this nation. When Hage Geingob therefore says that on the land issue white people will retaliate, he means that the Western Contact Group, for whom they work, will be the ones that retaliate.
Utoni Nyoma's utterances on ENCA truly angered SWAPO, who pointed out that the Afrikaners were also poor and brought their people out of poverty.
You can look at Afrikaner poverty, which in 70 years, by the time he was born, Afrikaners were poor. But because of a deliberate and targeted approach by that regime to empower its people, today the Afrikaners are somewhere different than they were 70 years ago. We cannot hope for that process to unfold in Namibia. To this extent, of course, having said the types of things he has said, and having now even more dumbly denying what he said and claiming to have been misquoted by the camera perhaps, there are other technologies he wants to challenge, but you can't do that with a camera. He should either leave voluntarily, which I doubt he will do, or he should be fired, which Kengob will never do, or he should apologize to the nation, which even if he did, he wouldn't sincerely believe in his wrongfulness. And who in government will take on Sam's child? No one. So it's up to the Namibian people to see right through their elected leaders and wake up to the real SWAPO, the real intent and purpose of SWAPO, and to take a stand in 2019 elections and vote SWAPO out of power. This government is indeed a burden to the Namibian people.
Bernardo Swartboy also expressed dissatisfaction with the manner in which the government is handling the genocide issue. Check this out.
You can see how the genocide issue is being handled. The discussion on recognizing a Remembrance Day for the genocide is ongoing. No resolution. It's probably the only day where there was a consultation as to have a Remembrance Day. Kasinga, just like that. 26 August, just like that. But on Genocide Remembrance Day, there must be consultations. Highly disrespectful. But when it comes to going to the boss, the Germans, thinking that you are going to benefit from the genocide, no consultations with the community, you can exclude them. No consultations. You even decide how much money you need. And you declare that you need 510 billion. You say it. And you are not even scum. You are not embarrassed to say how much you are willing to suck out of the losses of these communities without talking to them. You will milk them dry. And you don't care. You will say you have elected us.
German journalist Brigitte Waldlich made the blunder of retorting against Swartboy's statement, and he lost it.
The leader of German-speaking Namibians in this country. Please note.
Brigitte, if you have attitude, I will also have attitude. Be careful. I will also have attitude, and I will show you that attitude right now. But I'm telling you, the Germans here have benefited so much that you people are so extra arrogant and sitting at your peaceful places of land that some of you people have taken. And here in ELPM, we are trying to negotiate a damn good way of reconciliation and peace and going forward. Don't come provoke me here on a matter that is that sensitive and trying to disturb the processes that ELPM is putting in place to incorporate everyone. We are really trying to incorporate everyone. But the German ambassador, in any case, from what they write around in Allgemeine Zeitung, and this is also what we are told by Germans in Germany, is behaving like a traditional authority leader of the German community here.
I get your point.
Thank you very much, Brigitte.
Swartboy vowed that the Landless People's Movement will ensure that the politicians who have been involved in unsavory activities will feel the full wrath of the law.
Remember, we are also not going to play with people. You are going to see some of these politicians going to be jailed. We are not going to play. At local authorities, we are going to play the hardest possible ball with these guys, because they have done certain things to our people on the ground. We are going to be tough. There was one governor that said recently, let me not drink because when they see the beer, they will WhatsApp these LPM people. We are going to arrest these people. They will be held accountable. Local authority councillors, regional authority councillors, police that have been doing certain conspiratorial work, intelligence officers that have been working behind us, driving cars, following us, trying to intimidate us, almost bumping our vehicles, threatening our lives, things like that. We are going to deal with them and with their families that have benefited from corruption and so on. And mind you, we are not going to blink. We are not going to blink because we can't allow this country to become a Zimbabwe first and want now to reform things thereafter. No, we can't. This country is in a mess that is so profound that those that have created the mess do not even know how to get out of the mess. They don't know it.